Welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe for Chinese. Let's continue unpacking some triplets. And we have talking about a grass, three of them together. Human, three of them together. Today, we're looking at three cows together. And okay, now we have some visuals. And in fact, this character, Ben, was no longer used in simplified Chinese. No wonder I didn't grow up with that. Okay, this was still in traditional Chinese. As you can see, okay, the middle is always the simplified. That's I guess, the highest population so far still on the planet, still using this simplified Chinese. And then we have traditional Chinese. That's probably more culturally relevant to tradition as well as contemporary. I would argue, like, even if they are a smaller population in Taiwan, Hong Kong, probably Southeast China, not Southeast Asia, that people who just came out of China originally before the simplification of Chinese happening in mainland China. So those are the original cultural, I guess, inherit offsprings, that they keep using the language as it was originally be for thousands of years. And then they, even if population-wise, it may not be bigger, but culture-wise, because they were more interconnected to the world. So a lot of things that you see or experience, the ding songs, the Cantonese speaking tones all over the world, that's from the traditional Chinese culture. Okay, so I'm glad they keep the three cows in their language, and they, you can see the simplified kind of look like the three grass symbol we saw on the first episode. It turned out this character has nothing to do with grass. It actually is anti-grass because grass is stiff. I mean, stuck on the ground, right? They are immobile. Here we're talking about a fleeing, or actually a better translation for that is not flee, it's stampede. And then on the top, we have this number big, this character big on top of it. So it's like a big pile of grass. It's totally misleading, right? But I grew up using this character and never thought twice about it. And for me, I just memorized like, okay, Ben, it kind of relates to galloping, like you run wild kind of running. It's not just flee, right? It doesn't map directly to that, but you kind of can visualize that like a two legs, or the top is like two legs. You can try to create some mental pictures to memorize the kind of add the motion, the locomotion into this character. However, when we look at the traditional Chinese three cows stacking up together, that kind of makes sense because we are describing this human behavior of Ben, this fleeing or stampeding from this cow behavior. And the cows, they stay in groups. And this grouping, just like a crowd, three humans, three cows, simply means many cows together, and they may come in different sizes as well. So the diversity in there, and also the volume in there. And this is a crowd behavior we're talking about using cows. And I guess the best example to visualize what stampeding would be the bullfighting season, right? Happen in Spain. I never witnessed that, but on Chinese media, often we once a year we would see on national TV of how the bulls would be running down the street, and some brave young man would try to be the amateur bullfighter in there. That was a national thing for Spain. But this bulls, a crowd of them stampeding, like creating this big loud noise, and they don't necessarily go in the same direction. They can be unpredictable, right? And can be dangerous with those upturning horns like that. So this gives you almost the visual, the sound, even the vibration, and the danger packed together, created by these three cows or bulls. And that, of course, humans were self-centered. We use animal behavior to describe human behavior. Here are 3 examples. Okay, stampede. Okay, that's my corrected version. It's better than flee. Okay, 奔波, 波, waves. So Chinese, simplified Chinese environment, use 奔波 to describe human life's journey that comes with ups and downs like a wave. And all you can do is to keep stampeding. It gives you, I just realized that 奔波, it describes this crowd behavior embedded by the 3 cows, right? And it's kind of random as well, because each person have their own trajectory, their own particular individual level of life's journey. However, collectively, we all are stampeding together, competing, collaborating, and going through this ups and downs of life, the vicissitude of life. And that's how simplified Chinese world put 奔 and 波 together to describe the almost like the midlife, the adulting, I guess, in English world of what it takes. And it describes a lot of like, you spend a lot of efforts. You run around, spend a lot of energy, make a lot of loud noise, even dust. However, this tiredness, this exhaustion may or may not pay back. You just go with the flow, and that flow of life doesn't depend on you. All right, so that's 奔波, 奔命. Here is even more desperate, because 命 here is a Chinese concept of destiny or script. And we particularly have the mouse symbol here to mean somebody gave the order. And on the right side, right now we're looking at the simplified Chinese version, but we talked about before, is a kneeling person who was supposed to take in whatever this mouse is saying and take their, I guess, prescription of what's going to happen to you in life. And that's how Chinese view 命, this life is like predetermined. You have your script already written somewhere and you just play it out. And the top of this triangle thing simply shows the structure, or you can view it as a life cycle, the past, present, future, things like that. So 奔命 give you the sense of it's destined. We have this script of we are destined to stampeding with the rest of humans from the beginning to the end of life. And it's tiring. It's not that rewarding. And it's kind of helpless that you have to be part of this torrents of humans that keeps running. It's a Chinese rat race, right? So instead of using rats, and rat race give you the visual sense of it's not just singular rat, right? It's a collective human behavior that we all kind of, or hamster wheel, right? Keeps running, keeps us busy as if we are getting ahead by staying busy. That's the Chinese version. Instead, we use, now I know, the cows or the bulls collectively stampeding through the field, and this wild as well as randomness and this unpreventable, like a predestined sense that you're part of this stampeding through life process. And that's your script. That's your 命. Now we switch out this to 4, number 4. This is a Chinese way to mean you are stampeding close or toward to your 4th decade, or actually your 5th decade. This 4 in Chinese means you're 40 plus category. So you're already in your done your 4 decades and now you're entering the 40 plus category. So that's 奔四. And we, of course, have 奔三, you're 30 plus, 奔二, 20 plus. So mostly Chinese just use one digit to represent the whole decade of your age grouping. So 奔四 is a very commonly seen pairing, because probably when you hit 40 plus, you feel like, okay, you have stampeding long enough with the rest of your peers that you kind of get an idea of what life feels like. Okay, you have done enough of adulting. Now you're kind of experiencing midlife crisis of sorts. Okay, so that's stampeding. Thank you for your time. See you another day.